Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, that crisis is averted for the day, right?
Right. Yes.
The
Technology is so wonderful when it
Oh,
works.
the first time I did a live, I tried this stage and no one could hear me. So we had to move to the tech check stage. And so this time I'm like, I'm not having that issue. I haven't been able to get the bugs out of the other stage. I was like, I'll just do it in the tech check one. And now that stage isn't working. So, one of these days I'll figure it out.
It'll be fine.
So thank you for joining us. I had this whole spiel ready to introduce you. And of course, technology just stepped in the way.
That's all right. Who needs introductions anyway?
Well, it's actually
We're all friends here.
It's a good introduction. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it.
All right.
So, starting her audiobook career in 2018, our guest tonight narrates multiple genres under two pseudonyms, June Deborahae and Teralyn Davis. As Davis, she is known for fantasy, young adult, and some romance titles. But as the pages of fiction heat up, Deborahae takes over and sets fire to your earbuds with spicier romance. Deborahae has been performing since she was 8 years old. In addition to her career in audiobook narration, she has acted in amateur and professional theater productions and performed with choral groups, bands, and orchestras. She's quoted as saying, "Audiobooks are magic." So everyone, please welcome June Deborahae.
God, you make me sound so interesting.
You are very interesting. I read all that today and I was like, that's amazing.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh God. Yeah.
That's you. You've done all that. You are amazing, Miss Jen.
I sure did. Oh my God. Well, cool. Sorry, I'm the most awkward turtle ever. I'm sorry.
No. So I have prepared some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll start off with one. I kind of went into it a little bit. But so tell us a little bit about your background in narration and acting. I kind of touched on it a little bit. But where have you performed on stage, or little things like maybe what was your favorite role, or maybe a role you've always wanted to play but haven't yet? Things like that.
Well...
That's a lot, right?
Well, it's one of those things where I'm like, the on-stage presence has been greatly exaggerated. I've only done a handful of on-stage productions, mostly in high school. So it was a long time ago. But the reason I got into audiobook narration in the first place was actually I've done a handful of productions with the North Carolina Opera as a supernumerary, which is a non-speaking, non-singing extra on stage. I can sing. I'm just not opera trained singer person. But, I was I had young kids and I really wanted to try to get back into acting. And I was like, where can I scratch this itch? But I have children, so I can't commit to 3 or 4 months of every night rehearsals.
Yeah.
And the North Carolina Opera was 2 weeks, rehearsals 2 weeks, and not even every night 2 weeks. It was a handful of nights here and there, and then the performance, because the way that they work is they assume all the people are going to know their music already, so it's mostly just blocking where you're supposed to be on stage. And anyway, so I've done that. If I had one role that I wish I could play, it would be Christine Daae in The Phantom of the Opera. Because I freaking love that.
Yes.
My mom said when I was 3 years old, I could sing along with the little cassette tape recording that she had of Phantom of the Opera. So I've always loved it, and I've loved singing my whole life. And really any time that I have a chance to merge singing and acting, that's a good day.
Yeah.
I don't get to do that very often though anymore.
Have you sung in any of your audiobooks?
I have, actually.
Okay.
So it was the second audiobook I ever did.
Okay.
I think it was one of the very, very early titles, which oh boy. So, it's one of those things where I'm I go back and I listen to those and I'm ooh, burn it with fire. Because I've grown so much as an actress, as a performer, that there's things that I'm I wish I could go back and change that. But it was good. It was good for what it was. Anyway, but It was called The Choice by Allison Kennedy. And one of the characters, he was like a singer-songwriter. And so she had the lyrics. I created the song, like the melody, and I sang it. And I only found out afterwards, you're really not supposed to do that. Because I was like, oh, I was still figuring the whole audiobook thing out. Like they don't necessarily like you to put music in it, mostly because of copyright issues. Because, if it's a recognizable song, tune, et cetera, there's copyright infringement things, unless it's public domain. And even then it gets a little murky. But like, since she wrote the lyrics and I wrote the melody, it ended up being okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know at the time.
I wouldn't have known that either. It's like, just things you pick up and learn as you go.
Yeah.
I would have made that mistake too. So tell me a little bit about your preparation process. Like how do you approach different aspects of narration?
I mean, I think I probably prep less than some narrators do, mostly in that I just read the book. I read the book, or sometimes if I'm on like a really tight deadline, I'll hire a prepper to do it for me and then read the synopsis. But generally speaking, I like to read the book before I record it. And I'll make note of like, if there's like another language I need to look up the pronunciation for things, or like I'll try to figure out, like, a lot of times, especially in romance, it seems like there's a trend with interconnected standalones.
Mm-hmm.
And so like making sure that you're not wildly off base of what somebody else has already created, and at the same time, like making it your own and stuff like that. But like, yeah, like I don't know, like I feel really dumb saying this, but like I just kind of catch the vibes from reading it and then go from there. I don't know. I probably should do more.
Yeah. No, that's it. I would think that one of my other questions I was going to ask you is like, how do you decide on a voice? Is it a feeling, or do you just run it past your family and friends? And I would think maybe it's a little bit of both, but hearing you say that, I would say it's probably just like a feeling, like you fill the character out and go with it.
Yeah. And there's somewhat of a cast of character archetypes that I have in my arsenal that like say the shy quiet girl, or like the Elle Woods type character where she's just like bubbly and perky and higher pitched, or so I have a handful of those like pre-made archetypes that like if it fits the character, then I'll just go with that because it's easy.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a little bit harder, and like there's a handful of people in here who are also in my Discord server, and I narrate live almost every day. And like they know the struggle bus that sometimes I'm like, nope, that character's not right. Nope, that's not right either. And you just kind of have to like churn through it. And there have been times where I have started with a character voice, gotten several chapters through, and then gone, nope, you know what? This doesn't fit. And had to go back and re-record all their lines.
Wow.
So, for me, it is more feel, vibe. I don't know.
No,
like
that makes
this
total
mystical,
sense.
ethereal thing.
No, I would think it would be. I'm the same when I write. So people ask me all the time, because there's plotters and there's pantsers, and people are like, so what's your process? Like, how do you? I'm like, I just sit down and do it. It's hard to explain. You just and you go with the flow and you let the characters kind of take on life. So even you saying sometimes you'll record and then you go back, it's because the character's taken on a new life and you're feeling it. And you're like, nope, we've reached where this is the character now, and you're gonna, so I get that. I totally get that process.
Yeah.
So
it'll bite you in the butt sometimes.
Oh, I bet. Especially if you get pretty far, especially in, like some books aren't so long, but when you get into what you do as far as like fantasy and God, and then even with fantasy, there's so many characters to keep straight. So how do you do that? Do you record the voices and kind of keep them in folders or whatever to remind you of, hey, this person in chapter 1 is now showing up in chapter 50, or, how do you do that? What's the process for that?
So I have some like macros in my DAW, which is the program that I record in, and I will mark wherever their voice appears pretty much the first time, and I try to pick a good section or a chunk where like it's not just like hi, but like them actually talking. And so then I can search through that list and go back and reference it. And if in doubt, mark the character, because I sometimes can't remember if this random barista is going to show back up later in the book. Like,
that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, wait, like I will have read the book, but like, sometimes like in the moment I don't always. And that's like one of those things that I'm like, if I was a more intense prepper, then I would know where all the characters are, but I'm not. And so like I have a thing where I can just like search it. And one of the main sources of angst in my life, I talk about future Terry and past Terry. I will curse past Terry's name if I can't find the character, if I forgot to stop and mark it somewhere. I'm like, curse you, past Terry, you're such a flake. Anyway.
No, it would be extremely difficult because I keep it straight in my head, but I'm the one who wrote it. So to me, it's not so hard for me, but I could see, the actor, the performer trying to come in, especially with those bigger, longer titles.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, oh no, that isn't the same barista. But sometimes authors don't differentiate, so it's like, oh, is it the same one? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So,
yeah, so that macro saves my bacon.
Is it color coded, or can you just like search the name of the character? How does it?
I can just search the name. So like when I mark it in the file, like in the wave form, it compiles it into like basically a little mini spreadsheet that I can then go back through and search, and I can just find where I will click on that little spreadsheet, and then it will take me exactly where it is in my files. So it's like so great.
Oh yeah.
Best.
So what kind of, I always want to ask narrators this. Some like to talk about it, some don't. Some get kind of fancy about it. So you're talking about your equipment. What kind of mic do you use? What's your setup?
I have a little bit of a bougie setup. A funny story, actually, about this mic. So I was actually gifted this mic and only found out after the fact that it was a stupidly expensive mic. So the mic I have is Townsend Labs, a Sphere L22. Townsend Labs was bought out by Universal, and I can't remember what it's called now. But the thing that's really different about my mic is that it actually has 2 pickups. Okay. So like normally you have 1 diaphragm pickup, but mine has 2. So it's able to do all of this like spatial modeling. And so in the program that it came with, I can actually go in and select a bunch of different mics, like famous mics, and it will make it sound like I recorded on that mic as opposed to the mic that it is.
That is a little bougie. So, that's a little fun though.
Right? I had a friend, and he basically sold everything in his life, like gave everything away, and he's like a full-time like nomad basically, and he travels the world, and he was like, I can't take this with me, and you can use it. And so I said, thank you.
Right.
So that's the mic. I have an Apollo Solo interface. I record on Reaper. I usually edit in Adobe Audition because I had somebody set it up for me. I am not a tech person. I know barely enough to get by. So like I was trained on how to edit audio on Adobe Audition, but I haven't figured out how to do that in Reaper yet. One day, maybe, but right now I'm just like, no, it's fine. I can just keep both programs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that's my gear.
So do you edit a lot of your own stuff? Is it required of you, or does it depend on what production company you work with? Can you just hand over files or?
Most of the time, I'm not usually the one in charge of editing. I will edit my auditions. So like if I am auditioning for a project, I will record it, and then I will edit it so that they can hear what the finished product will sound like, because I actually speak very quietly when I'm narrating, because it's less strain on my voice. And so like it boosts the signal and cleans up all the little crackly, clicky mouth noise things and, stuff like that. But by and large, most of the time when I'm working with production companies, I'm not the one in charge of editing. They farm that out somewhere else. It's only usually when I'm working like with indie authors directly. So like not through like a smaller production company, but like I've had a handful of authors reach out and be like, hey, I want you to narrate my book. And I'm like, cool. And then I have to do that. But I've gotten to the point now where even those ones, I will farm out the editing because my time is better spent talking than it is trying to muddle my way through editing.
That could be a nightmare.
There's that.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the least, everybody has that part of their job that they absolutely hate, and it's just the worst. Editing, for me, it's editing. I'm like, no, we're just going to hire that out and it'll be fine.
That's the way I feel about marketing. Like any more of my books online, like I'm like, trying to throw together clips and edits and put it out. I'm just like, do I have to do this? I really don't want
to. It's so hard. Sorry.
Well, and then I always second guess things. Like I'm like, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. And then I spend like twice as long as I should on it, and I'm like, damn it,
it's like, oh gosh, let me throw this spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Yes.
Marketing is like, I still feel like that with my own stuff. Like, and I'm not even the one who wrote it. Like, I'm just trying to get more authors to figure out who I am.
Anyways, so how do you handle transitions between characters and dialogue, especially for, say, like we were talking the fantasy books or different things like that, where you have so many characters going on? Can you switch in between them pretty quickly, or how's that process work for you?
I mean, it's literally like this, and then you have the next person talking, and then you have the other person talking. So like, it's just it's not hard. It's a skill that every narrator, you have to learn that one really quick, because it's not like if you have to stop and go back and like fix things, or like, take a minute and reset. Like that takes a lot of time, and time is money, like the way that the payment for most audiobook narrators works is per finished hour.
Yeah.
So the longer I take in recording it, the less money I actually make.
Yeah.
So, you want to try to be efficient. And if you couldn't easily switch between the characters, then you would not be able to record as quickly, and, it would end up costing you more money. But I will say, having said that, there have definitely been some characters where I have had to stop and like reset and then go in. Like if it's an accent I'm not as familiar with, that's usually the thing. I recorded this book recently, and there was a surprise Australian character who showed up quite a bit. Australian was not an accent that I do well. And like I had to sit there and like think about, okay, how would Chili from Bluey say this? How would Bandit from Bluey say this?
Yeah.
Like try to figure it out. And so like there are definitely cases where you will have to stop. But anyway.
So what are your easiest or favorite accents to perform, would you say?
British RP, which is like, sort of like the standard Queen's English British accent, the BBC accent, if you will. Sort of this is a general Irish accent is also fairly easy for me to just like reach for. And then several dialects of U.S. Southern. Okay. And then, that good old-fashioned Midwestern mom. She's just always there, right at the tip of my tongue.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. And you sounded exactly like one. Like, yes.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's funny. Like, I'll be recording sometimes and she'll just pop up out of nowhere. Like, I will be saying something and then I will say something, but it will sound like Midwestern mom. And then I'm like, well, gosh, why did she just show up here? It's always at the most inconvenient time, so things happen like that. Irish is another one. Russian is another one that like suddenly I am Russian. Yeah, just Russian. and we are doing the thing with the Russian people, and it's fine. So like, I'm
you
like
do
one
Russian
of those
well
like,
too.
"Oh, thank you. Actually, my very first audiobook I got because I could do a Russian accent.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, if we're being really specific, the accent that I do is technically more Ukrainian than it is Russian because my dad grew up in a place where there were a lot of Ukrainian immigrants. And so, like, he would talk like he would hear them. And so, like, it's sort of like, I don't know, second, third hand Ukrainian accent. Anyway, but yeah, so that was, yeah. I still think about that book all the time where I'm like, like, it is crazy. There was absolutely no reason I should have auditioned for that book in the first place. And I got it. Yeah.
The Russian sold them. Was the Russian part of your audition?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Was the Russian accent part of your audition process with them?
Yes. So like they said, hey, this character is Russian, give us your best. And it was sort of like it's technically a YA book. Like the character's like 19, so it's like in that like nebulous new adult, but like other than it just being high action and there's some graphic violence in it, like it's pretty tame. But like it was like a spy thriller type thing where like she is the daughter of an oil tycoon. And they end up having to go visit one of the oil fields up in Alaska to check on things, only to find out that there were Russian agents infiltrating to try to take over the oil field. And because she's had a kidnapping attempt in her past, like she had been assigned this like grizzled old Russian bodyguard slash, self-defense teacher person guy, like, and he basically put her through basic training. And so like she could shoot guns and she can kick ass and all the things, but he's just this like grizzled old Russian guy. And then of course, we had to be able to voice the Russian bad guys. So anyway, sorry, I talk a lot.
No, I love it. And that was a young adult book?
Yeah.
That's got a lot going on for YA. Like,
yeah,
that's intense.
Well, I mean, it's like, I think, if we're being really like nitpicky, it probably would be stuck in that new adult territory. Yeah. But like, there wasn't really, it was just a lot of, high action, scenes that I was narrating with a sprinkling of graphic violence in there. There was one scene and again, this was my very first audiobook that I ever narrated. And there was a scene where a guy literally gets his head blown off, and I was like, and it took me a minute to get through that scene, but we did it, and then it turned out fine.
So how many books do you say that you'll narrate a year? Do you have like a count on them? Do you keep track of them?
I do keep track of them, and it is growing every year. So like when I first started, like I did like 1 or 2 books in a year, maybe. And then I spent a lot of years after that trying to break in, but not really having a lot of success with publishers or authors. But then about 2023, yep, I can say words. I speak that for a living.
It's been a long day. It's Friday too. It's the end of the week.
But like in 2023 was when things kind of took a turn for me finally. And, I started getting more books and more traction. Last year, 2023, I did 10 books. 2024, I did 30 books. This year there's a handful that are not confirmed, but like if we're going on like everything, it's about 42 at this point, and I still have a handful of weeks left in this year. So
nice.
It could be a little bit more. So like it's growing, but I think I'm at my limit. I think 40 is too many. 40 books is too many.
Do you you don't, narration's your full-time gig, right? It's your full-time job?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So it's not like you're trying to juggle something else with this. Now
Oh, no.
you have kids. Are they young or are they more like teenagers?
They're like, solid kid age. So
Yeah.
my oldest is 13 and my youngest is 8.
Okay.
So it's like they're all in that sort of like kid phase where they're not super needy, but they still require some assistance.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was a stay-at-home mom for most of my life up until narration. And so like learning how to juggle working with kids and family and all that other stuff it's definitely been a learning experience. And I don't know that I've figured it out yet, but we're getting there.
I feel like the second we figure it out, it changes on us anyway. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
You're going to figure it out. Your kids are going to get a couple years older and then it's just going to be something else. And you're going to be figuring it out then is the way that, at least it's the way that my track record is with my kids.
Yeah.
So do you do acting classes or anything else on the side as well to or go to networking events or other things?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, I just wrapped up a master class session. Like it was a 6-week session where you go and you prepare a piece and then get feedback. So I just finished that. So like I'm always trying to improve my skills. I'm always trying to, I don't know, like I feel like especially in a creative field, it is adapt or die.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not staying on trend, and this is not to say that you can't have your own style and flair, but like narration for books today is very different from what it was 15 years ago.
Yes.
And I feel like the style in which audiobooks are performed has rapidly changed. And I know that it will change again. And so like it's one of those things where I'm like I feel obligated to continually improve myself, to improve my acting skills and abilities because it will keep me hireable. It will keep me it will edge me over the machines.
Yep.
Right? Because AI is coming for my job.
Yep.
It is. That's just the cold hard truth. It is. It already is.
It'll help you not go obsolete. Like that's the way that we would say in journalism when I was working in newspapers. One of the worst things that newspapers ever did is when Y2K happened, they started giving away all their news for free online. And they didn't charge anybody. They just like, oh, it's the internet. We're just going to give it away for free. And then all of a sudden they tried to backtrack years later and be like, oh, no, now we're going to charge people. It's like, well, you can't really do that. And so newspapers just started dying everywhere. So exactly like you said, you have to keep learning. You have to keep open. You have to all those things.
About too, like nurses and doctors have to have so many continuing education credits every year, however many years. Like my sister's a pharmacist, and so every year she has to take so many continuing education credits in order to be licensable as a pharmacist. And so I feel like that's my equivalent. That's like the taking acting classes and, continually trying to improve myself because, you don't want to just like go on autopilot because that you're never going to get a great performance out of autopilot because that's what AI can do. They are the autopilot. So anyway, I could talk a lot about AI stuff.
Oh yeah, well, it seems to be the hot topic recently too, with everything that Amazon's changing, and like everyone is saying though, is nothing beats a human voice. There's just
it's true.
There's no way you can't get the emotion and just everything that comes out. I know that
you think a machine could replicate my trauma? How dare you? I worked so hard for it.
Oh, it's true though. I mean, you can't. It's monotone. It's flat. Does it get the job done? Yeah, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
So I think there will come a day where, and hopefully soon, where people will have to AI obviously is going to be here to stay, but it needs to be controlled and it has its purpose and its place where it needs to be. It can't take over everything. Otherwise, we will just be all my daughter back in the day, she loved that movie Wall-E. We will be like a generation of, people just stuck on spaceships in space, not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
As AI
well, like I like to think of AI like the horse. So it used to be back in the old days, everybody had a horse, but only the very, very rich people had cars. But now that's flipped. Everybody can have a car. You can buy a car for like $300. Like it may be a junker car, but you can buy one. But now only the very, very wealthy can afford to keep horses.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this may be a really callous take on this, but I feel like human narration, human voiceover, that's going to be what it ends up being, is the people who are able to spend the money on human voices are going to continue to do so. But there's a lot of people that for one reason or another, they cannot afford to hire a human voice, and that will be the option for them because that's what they see as their only option. And so I feel like it behooves me, going back to that whole like continually improving myself, like it behooves me to continually improve my skills so that people continue to hire me. But yeah, unfortunately, I think AI will get rid of a lot of jobs. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Well, the one that I saw the other day, and I didn't even think about it, is ghostwriting. Someone was like, they were like, I got let go of my career of 30 plus odd years of being a ghostwriter to AI. And it's like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
AI is coming for our books too. We have to go ahead and say if we have any AI content, if it's been part of it's been written by AI, and just all the plagiarism too, with authors in the community taking books, running it through AI to regenerate it and publish it as their own. Recently, I've seen things like that with different authors. But your analogy,
state of affairs.
Yeah, your analogy is really good though. I think it'll be the same way with books, is just like to have, and unfortunately that creates the margin to go higher and higher and higher. So now real authors are going to have to price their books higher.
Yeah.
Because they're actually taking the time to write them. And so it'll be the same thing. The wealthy will be able to afford the books, like you're saying, as opposed to just having an AI generated novel. But even I remember it was like
really unfortunate.
It is. It's horrible. But like I think it was 2 years ago, I got, when they first started doing AI, maybe it was a year and a half, something like that, through Amazon. And I got I was one of the first ones to get an email. You can now add audiobooks with AI to your books, anyone that you want. And it was like, no, I couldn't afford it to hire a real voice, but I refused to use an AI narrator. It's like, if I can't afford it, I'm not going to do it. It's like, we're just not going there. So there will still be authors that are like that, but there will be some that, because it's so competitive, we work in such a competitive field that they will opt for it.
If you can monetize, I can understand the motivation for, like, I've already created this product. Let me figure out how to get as much back out of that as I can. Like, I understand the motivation. I don't like it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but thank you for continuing to hire human narrators. I thank you.
Well, I do. I stand on it. There's nothing beats a human voice. The emotion that you can't. No, I listen to my books played back to me with AI, like when I'm editing. And just right there alone is just like, it's just crap. Like, I couldn't imagine putting that out on the market. Like, hey guys, here's my book. Let a computer read it to you. I cringe when I have to listen to it. So no.
Yeah.
But besides AI, I got a couple more questions and I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire ones.
All right. I can't promise you I'll be able to rapid fire. I get off on tangents all the time.
Well, we're going to have fun with it. It'll be fun. What's your process for handling sensitive and challenging content that comes across in the books you narrate? Do you have a process for that?
Can you be more specific?
So, like, trigger warnings.
Okay. So, like, it's one of those things where I definitely have things I can't narrate.
Yeah.
But then other things that are not a big deal for me. So, and funnily enough, one of my triggers is drowning. I will not narrate drowning scenes or like near drowning, because of some personal trauma. And that's just like a nope. But mostly, almost everything else is on the table for me. There are definitely things that I don't like to narrate as much. So I try to limit, like, knife play, blood play, gun play, that kind of stuff, but not outside of, like, the blood play more outside of, like, vampire stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and not to, like, kink shame or anything. Like, if that's what you like, great. Personally, as a performer, I find it challenging to authentically bring that to life. And so there are things that I don't like narrating, but I will on a case-by-case basis. There have definitely been times where, like, something like that has been in the trigger warning list, and I will ask to read the scene. Like, I will ask if the author is okay, can I read the scene so that I can make the decision? Because it's hard to be like, it's hard to say a hard yes, hard no on things, because there's so many shades of gray, right? Where, like, one person's non-con could be another person's dubious consent, right? So, like, it's really hard to know. And that's another one for me, is that I don't like to narrate dubious consent or non-consent of the main characters, like, to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, if it happens as a part of, like, to the main character, as a part of their character arc, things that have happened to them that they're overcoming, then absolutely, I'm totally fine with that. But there's just some things that you have to say no to. And, every narrator has their own little internal list. And sometimes you don't know what those are until you get there, and then you go, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I try not to, like, again, I'm not trying to, like, kink shame anybody. Like, you like what you like. And a lot of people use stuff like that to process their own trauma or, whatever, for whatever reason. But there will be narrators who will be okay with that. And so, like, that's, like, one of the magics of casting, is finding the perfect fit for the character and the story that you've created. And when you can find that perfect fit, it makes the audiobook just, like, literally magic. It is, it's so good. There have been a handful of books where I'm like, this was perfectly cast and nobody else could ever do this. Like, I feel like, anyway, I could talk about that a lot, but I will not.
You can talk about it more. I'm here. I'm listening. They're listening too.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, every narrator has their own style and the way that they approach the text and characters and acting and things like that. And when that meshes perfectly on top of the words that are being used, that is casting magic. Like, one of the books that I can think of off the top of my head that I was just like, oh my God, this was magical, was Butcher and Blackbird. I never would have picked that book up otherwise. That's not my jam. I tend to be more on the fantasy rom-com for my own personal reading. But, like, everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's so good, you should listen to it. And I was like, oh, well, all right, I will. The casting for that book was so near perfect. It was just incredible.
Agreed.
And then you will get books where it's not necessarily that the narrator was bad, but you can tell that they weren't the right fit. Does that make sense?
Oh,
I have been
absolutely.
cast in books where I'm like, why did you cast me? I am not the right fit for this book, but you cast me, so I'm going to trust you. But, it's finding that magic is really, it's so rare, because whether there's scheduling conflicts, whether there's trigger warning conflicts, whether there's, just all sorts of things. Like, I've been a part of projects where, the author really wanted to work with this one person, but they were not cool with the triggers. And so we had to find somebody else. And so, like, there's so much that goes into casting that when you're able to find, it's like getting all of the right perfect ingredient. Do you bake at all?
Oh, yes. I'm a big baker.
Okay. So like, I'm not a big baker. I kind of stink at it. But like every now and then I will make a solid loaf of bread. Like solid meaning like really good,
Yeah.
you know, like perfectly risen, perfectly proofed, perfect, you know, like it turns out perfect.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is ultimately, you know, if I was in casting, that would be what I would be looking for every single book I cast.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I get it. And no, Butcher and Blackbird is one of those. There's a few others that I've listened to that, I mean, where it's just, the book was good, but the audio was fantastic.
Phenomenal.
You hear that all the time, several times with different books. And I don't want to list them because I don't want to sound biased to different, things. Hey, I will list one though. My book Deliverance, I will tell you that was magic casting right there with you and with JF. And
you can't see it, but I'm twirling my hair.
Everyone too, when they picked up that book, like I told you before, so many people jumped in there like, oh my God, this duo. Why haven't I heard this duo more? They need to be cast together more. And I'm like, I know, they're just freaking magic. So everyone thought that you two were magic on Deliverance. And you guys,
I mean, you made our job really easy.
Thank you very much. Well, and you guys did a fantastic freaking job. So it was one of those where I think, yeah, just like you said, everything came together. Whatever needed to aligned. And it was book magic with that one. And if you could get that with every single book, it'd be fantastic. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen.
That's the dream, but it's not always possible.
No.
Someone in the chat said our number one pocket pal, and I feel like I must explain this.
Okay.
So I have pocket pals, and they're basically people that I adore and just want to keep in my pocket. That they're just like wonderful human beings and a delight to interact with. And JF Harding is one of them. He's a pocket pal.
It was my first time interacting with him because, he's kind of elusive. He doesn't really come, like, everyone's like, even Brenna, when she got him to do the live, she was like, oh my God, Evelyn, I actually made contact with J.F. Harding. And I'm like, okay. So then me and her were like, well, what do we expect? I was like, I don't know. I've never talked to him. But that night I was like, man, he is so down to earth and such a fun, easygoing guy. Like, he's just one of those where, just to be around him was like a joy that night. Like, wow, okay,
Mm-hmm. And as like a coworker, like, or as a co-narrator, like working with him is so easy and nice, and that is why he's pocket pal.
He's pocket pal.
Just a great human being, wonderful to work with. I have several pocket pals. But sometimes people get removed from the pocket pal club because they get put in the friendship pocket, so like they become actual friends. So like, I would really like to take JF out of the pocket pal club and just be really actually friends with him, but I don't know that I see that happening. Too awkward.
Oh, Lord Almighty. It's different too in our business because, like, you have to go into it too. I don't know. You meet friends, and then sometimes for me, I'm like, are we friends? Are we not friends? Wait, I think we're friends, but no, maybe we're not friends. Okay, now we're just colleagues. Okay, now we're friends again. Like, I don't know. You do like this weird dance for a while with each other. And it's funny because you're like, we're all humans. Why are we doing this? Like,
why are we so awkward?
Yeah, why are we being awkward? So do you have a favorite genre to narrate? I think we kind of already covered this, but the romantasy. I'm going to tell you, since I discovered it 2 years, going on 3 years ago, I guess now, writing Losing Neverland, I can't escape it. Like, I try and go back to normal books, and I'm like, I can't really go back to reading normal rom-coms in small towns. Like, I'm like, there's no magic. There's no dragons. There's no spells. I'm like, I need my romantasy. Like, it's like,
I live in the real world. Like, I have this on the daily. I want something I don't have.
Yes.
Like, if I'm going to escape into books, I want, give me the magic. Give me the dragons. Give me the weird creatures. Give me the epic quests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, it's funny. Like, I've always been a fantasy reader, but I didn't pick up until I was a little bit older that all of my favorite fantasies had something in common in that they had a strong romantic subplot. Mm-hmm. And then when I discovered that romantasy was a thing, I was like, oh no, this is what I like. I like this.
Yeah.
I like fantasy, but I like this better.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was
So
my
good.
thing too. I didn't know that romantasy really existed. I was thinking, oh, fantasy, like these
Mm-hmm.
epic, like Lord of the Rings type. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really. And then once you start dabbling, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, there's this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes you back to like, yeah, I grew up with like The Princess Bride and like, all the different
Mm-hmm.
romantic fantasy movies back then. And so I'm just like, I'm a little kid again, and then you get into retellings and you're like, oh, we can make it grown up versions of all of
Yeah,
our,
buddy.
fairy tales. I was like,
I
this is
love it.
fantastic,
Yes.
So, okay, I got two more questions for you, and then I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire. We're going to see how rapidly we can fire them, or you can fire back
Okay.
the answers. So, are there
We'll see.
are there any challenges you've faced as a narrator so far?
I mean, how much time do you got? I mean, I think my biggest challenge is myself. I tend to be hypercritical of my own work, and I think I often make my job harder for myself because I'm like, oh no, I hate that. No, I hate that. I hate it so much that I even have a jingle for when I hate things. So like, like I tend to I think I probably get in my own way a lot. But one of the other challenges that is not unique to specifically me, not that I'm the only one that struggles. Anyway, one of the other challenges is getting discovered, like getting people to actually know who you are, because you could be the best, most talented narrator on the planet, but if nobody knows who you are, you're never going to get hired.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been really hard. That was a hard lesson for me to learn.
Yeah.
I really wanted narration to be a meritocracy where the best narrators get the best books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, it's not. It kind of is in that you have to be a certain level to be hireable. But, one of the reasons why I struggled for so long was that I just wasn't able to find my way into the spaces to get discovered
Mm-hmm.
by publishers, by authors, by readers, by whoever. And once I figured that out and I was like, okay, so we need to start marketing ourselves. Great.
Yeah.
That was kind of when things started pivoting, and I'm by no means very good at marketing myself. In fact, I would argue I'm pretty terrible at it. But I'm getting better, and I think people are starting to know my name a little bit, which is nice.
You have you have an overpacked schedule this year. That is proof right there in the pudding. Like people are starting to know you, and
yeah.
And it is true. It's the word of mouth. It's the same for indie authors. It's like you write this big book and you're like, oh, I love it. And I want to get it out there. And you're like, I'm going to publish it. It's just going to go boom. And then it's crickets. And you're like, what? Okay.
Yeah. What do I do to make this better?
Yeah. So, and then it's the marketing, it's the putting the money behind it, like, and then it's lots of trial and error. So like, for us, not to go off on my own tangent, but it's just like, you throw money at the wall and you're just like, okay, does that work? No. Oh, okay. Well, that's a loss. Let's throw some money over here and see if that marketing works. And it's frustrating, and it's imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
It's a big time. Like I was just talking to someone about it today. I'm like, I just have to stay off social media. I don't know what it is, but it's just like getting on social media can give you big imposter syndrome with seeing everyone else floating around, flying around, and you're just sitting there like, is my stuff good enough? Is it okay? Am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Should I do more? Should I not? It's just, it's frustrating.
You can't see me. I'm nodding my head along. I was like, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I was like, no, she can't see me nodding, but yes, yes. Amen.
Yeah, that's a tangent I can go on. I have gone off the last 24 hours. Like, this is not that soapbox for that though. I've got people in the personal life that can take care of that nonsense for me and hear me ramble for hours. But it's frustrating. And it's a lot of just believing in yourself and finding your tribe and the people who believe in you too, and shout your name from the rooftops, tell people, oh no, read this book, or God, no, hire her. She's a great narrator.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you, and I know you feel me on that one.
Yes. I feel like I'm starting to amass my little tribe of people, and I adore them and appreciate them more than they know.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And like I was listening to a podcast today, and it's a lot too. It's just networking, getting out there, meeting more people.
Yeah.
And not letting
It's
that
hard.
imposter syndrome win. Yeah, it's hard.
It's easy for me to network when I'm sitting here in my box by myself and we don't actually have to see each other. If we met in person, that's a very different, like, oh gosh. Like, I went to APAC, which is the Audiobook Publishers Association conference in New York this year, and went to the Audies afterwards. And I had no less than like 4 panic attacks while I was there because I do not people very well.
Yeah.
And, especially when I'm networking with people who potentially have influence over my career.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, okay, it's fine. Fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So, but getting out and networking is so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
I think it's like, because then you hit a wall of like, to me, I talk myself out of it. I'm like, does it even matter? Does it even matter that I go do this? And it's like, no, it does. You have to change that mindset.
Yeah.
And
then like, I will say that like, I really actually enjoy going to book events because I'm able to connect with readers.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, like, it's easier for me to interact with readers than it is like other narrators and publishers. More probably because we can both geek out about the same book and be like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Like, because at my heart, I'm a book girly. Like, I love reading. I love stories. I love, the happily ever afters. And like, I want to like squeal about that just as much as you do.
Yeah.
Like I do enjoy going to those book events. They're less stressful for me, but like, oh boy, the networking with my peers, networking with the people who hire me, I'm like, awkward.
And you're gonna be at Tennessee LitCon, right?
I am. Yes, I'm very excited about that.
It's gonna be a huge event. It's
oh
like,
my God, yeah.
From when I signed on with it to what it's grown to, I'm like, good Lord, this thing. I'm excited for it. Do you have any other book events besides that one you're going to do this year?
I was going to be going to some this year, but I've sadly had to withdraw from most of them due to some unforeseen circumstances. But I will be at the Tennessee LitCon this year, and then I have a handful that I have signed up for next year. So I'll be at Shadows and Seduction in New Orleans in March next year, and I've signed up for Love in Vegas in October next year.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, those are 2 good ones. I think I've put in for both of those too. I haven't heard anything, so most likely not going.
Fingers crossed.
I did submit my interest form for it. So
yeah. Well, like I only just heard back from Love in Vegas and the Shadows and Seduction. So like,
yeah, they're just starting to send out all their invites for 2026 everywhere.
So, like it might be coming still. It's like there are way more authors than there are narrators.
So do you have any tips for aspiring narrators?
If I could go back and change some things about how I started, I would have told myself to practice more before just jumping in and auditioning for everything left and right and center. Because like I said, I had no business auditioning for that book the first book that I ever got. I didn't even know how to work my DAW. Like I was borrowing a microphone from somebody. I literally there was absolutely no reason. It was sort of like I did this sort of on a whim. It was very much like we'll try this thing, and if it works out, great, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. And then, I discovered how much I loved it, and anyway, but like, make sure you're get good training. So, and like acting training is good, but there are specific differences for audiobooks that are not the same in any other avenue of acting that will make it easier for you to get hired. And the other piece of advice that I would give is to remember that just because they said no for this book, like if you didn't get an audition, it doesn't mean that you didn't do a phenomenal job. It just means that you weren't the right fit. And like going back to that casting, it is like getting all the ingredients in the perfect amount and the perfect timing to make the one loaf of bread that's amazing. Like, there are so many factors that go into casting that have almost nothing to do with how good you are.
Yeah.
And somebody gave me this piece of advice when I was still pretty new, and it has stuck with me ever since. It's that to think about yourself like ice cream. You are a flavor of ice cream, whatever flavor that you think you are. Like, maybe you're, raspberry fudge ripple. You could be the very best raspberry fudge ripple ice cream on the planet. But if the casting director is looking for chocolate, they're never going to hire you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that your raspberry chocolate ripple is bad. It just means that it wasn't what was needed, what they were looking for. That doesn't mean that there aren't times where a casting director says, we're looking for chocolate, and then they try your raspberry fudge ripple, chocolate ripple, whatever, and they go, oh my God, I thought I wanted chocolate, but actually, I think I need this raspberry ripple. Like, there are times when that is absolutely possible. But to let go of the idea that because I didn't win this audition, that means I'm a terrible narrator. And that's something I think that any creative has to overcome at some point in their life. Rejection there is no field anywhere that doesn't have rejection, but more so in acting, it can feel really personal because when you're acting, you're putting so much of yourself into what you're doing. And so it can feel very disheartening and discouraging to be told no. But it doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean that you don't have skills. It just means that you weren't right for this project.
Yeah.
There will be a project that you will be perfect for, and it will find you one day. But like learning to let go of the rejection, like that's a lesson every actor has to learn real fast.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're never going to make it.
Oh, yeah. It's like your bad reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? J.R. Ward blew up on TikTok recently, and she had such phenomenal things to say about getting bad reviews, and it's just like you can't let them bring you down. Like, not everyone is going to like your book. They're just not going
Right.
to. Your big fan, people who love it are going to love it, and people who don't, it just wasn't for them. And it doesn't mean you're a bad writer. It doesn't mean that you should stop and you should just quit. It just means that it wasn't what they were looking for. I mean, I've picked up, and I try and take bad reviews like with a grain of salt, unless like they have some really good constructive criticism. I still do read some of mine, but I can't count how many times I've picked up a book and been like, I'm not really feeling this, and I'll put it back on my shelf, and I'll pick it up sometimes a couple months later, and I'll try it again. And I've done that sometimes with two or three times with some books, and finally read it and been like, oh my God, that was the best book ever. But had I powered through 6 months ago, I probably would have hated it. And so some of the times it's just in the moment too.
Right.
What are you looking for in that moment to read? What are you feeling? All the things. So
yeah. Well, and then there is some benefit to reading your reviews, but you have to do it strategically. So like this was actually something that I learned pretty early on, was that your taste is subjective, right? That's not the thing that I learned. But the thing that I learned was that what you should look for are trends amongst the criticism. To go and read your reviews if you want. If you need to be in a really happy mind, very settled mind space in order to do this. But to go in specifically looking for trends amongst the criticism for things that you actually can fix.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, oh my God, her voice was so grating on my nerves, like that's not something you can fix.
Yeah.
But if you're consistently getting like, oh my God, her pacing is so slow.
Yeah.
That's something I can work on. That is something I can change and fix. Like, are people saying bad things about my voices, my characters, my accents, et cetera, et cetera. So like finding the commonalities. That doesn't mean like the one-off. It means the things that consistently show up in your negative or critical reviews. And then throw away the rest.
Yes.
Because everything is so subjective, and what we do is art, and art is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to let go of, pleasing everybody, because you're never going to, right? You're just never gonna. But, take what you can, to take steps to get better, to improve yourself, to level up your skills, and leave the rest.
Yep.
Unless you really want to just read that one review where they're like, oh my God, they are phenomenal, they can do no wrong, when you need a pick-me-up, because I definitely do that.
Yeah, you pump yourself up. Sometimes I'll go to the bad reviews first and then read the good ones, because I'm like, it pumps you back up after reading those bad ones where you're like, oh man, I'm just crap. And then you go to the good one and you're like, no, I'm not. I kick ass, So.
Right. They said I did good.
Yeah.
See, I am good.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
So do you have any career goals looking forward?
I ultimately, I want to win an Audie.
Yeah.
I want to be recognized for the work that I do, on a professional level, if that makes sense. I recognize that my fans and the listeners, they appreciate and like what I do most of the time, I think. But to have industry peers to be like, yes, you did good job.
Yeah.
That's what I would like. But ultimately, one of my goals is to just be hireable all the time. To be consistently booked, I guess, which I have achieved that now, but I recognize that can change very quickly, whether that's because of it, and it may have nothing to do with you, it may have everything to do with the industry at the moment, but I want to maintain that hireability. And if we're being real honest, I would just die if I could have the same name recognizability as Samantha Brett Moore or Teddy Hamilton or Julia Whalen. That little nugget of me, that tiny bit of ego. I'm like, I would really, really, really like that.
I agree with Marla. But Marla's like, you will, and you will, June. I do believe it. You have the spark, and you have the tenacity, and you have the drive, and so you will.
Kind.
Yeah, I believe you will. You look at how fast everyone needs to start. I believe that even though we all don't want to start off small, we are more blessed when we do climb a ladder, because we appreciate when we get to the top and we have the view that we're looking at. So even though
correct.
Even though you start, your first couple of years, now that it's picked up and it's more and it's more. So when you do get to the top and you are that recognizable as that, you're that recognizable as that to me. And so, and I know a lot of others' eyes you are too. And so it'll just continue to grow. But you'll remember the path that you took to get there, and it'll be all that much greater at achieving it. But I agree with Marla.
You can't see me, but I am blushing so hard right now. I'm just like, ooh.
It's true though. You will. I believe you will. And I believe you will win an Audie. I see it. I totally do. I do.
It's so funny because I'm like, I want recognition. I want people to talk about me, not to my face. Talk about me when I'm not here. Okay, thanks, bye.
I get the same way. Yeah. I get awkward when people are like, oh, they try to talk to me about my books and this and that. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. What do I say? Now it's awkward.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, that is literally what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you are thankful. You're like, I am thankful, but how many times do I say thank you before it doesn't sound thankful? And what else do I say? So yeah, awkward.
I don't know what else to say. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to go to
all right, I'm going to hit
corner now.
I'm going to hit you with rapid fire. So let's see how rapidly you can answer. They're gonna be easy. I promise. They're not that
okay.
Unless you go off on. Well, I think. I guess you can go. Okay, first one: coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. See, we're off to a good start here. Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hot dogs.
Mountains or beach?
That's what she said. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
It's all right. I mean, like, I would have thrown that one in there too. So you beat me to it. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Neither.
So then spring or fall?
Spring.
Oh, okay. Morning or evening?
Evening. Not a morning person.
When do you start to record then? Like later in the day?
Yeah. So like, I mean, I'll record during the day. Like I usually will start like 9:30 or 10 in the morning, mostly because my kids don't go to school till 9:15. Which I'm like, who thought that was a smart idea?
Yeah, no.
But anyway, but like often my biggest work hours start after 9 and I will record until midnight. So like,
oh wow.
I'm a night. This is usually my work hours.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not an evening person. I had to drink a lot of caffeine for tonight. So
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your fault at all. No, I'm the one who named this after hours. And so it's like, like I'm gonna get used to just staying up late. Well, sometimes I can do late nights, but for the most part, I think it's lately after I got done writing this book, I've just been tired. You ever get hit like just burnout sometimes? You're just like, I just want to go to bed and sleep. And so I think that's mostly it.
I think in any creative thing that you do, it takes so much more out of you than you realize until you're like grasping at straws because you're so exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where you are. I have also been in that place many times.
And then it gets, you get done with the project and then I think because you've been running on adrenaline or whatever, then it hits you and you're just like, oh, okay, no, I'm tired. Like,
yep.
So, all right, cats or dogs?
Do I have to pick?
You could pick a different one. Are we not an animal person?
No, both.
You want both?
Oh, okay. I cannot pick between cats and dogs. I love them. I just love all critters.
All the critters.
All the critters, even the creepy crawlies, because they have their place.
Oh, well. You're
not in my house, but they have their place.
Yeah. Salty or sweet?
Really depends.
Okay.
Like sometimes I really want something salty, and then sometimes and it never is consistently predictable.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get it. I like the salty sweet combo.
Oh yeah, that's
I could do that one.
Like that is elite. The salty sweet is elite.
Like the yogurt dipped pretzels or chocolate dipped pretzels.
Oh,
yeah, those are good.
Yes.
So work or play?
This one is tricky because I often feel like my work is play, but like I would rather be playing all the time. Like let's be real honest. Like I want to do my pottery and play my music and play pretend all day long. That's what I want to do.
You do pottery?
Yeah. I just not just picked it up. It's been probably a solid 6-something months now. But that was actually for Mother's Day. I got a pottery wheel. I'd been renting space at a studio, and now I have one in my house, and I'm so excited.
So how do you to do the kiln? How do you do that? Do you do it in your oven or like?
So like I still like the space that I rent at the studio comes with kiln space. So like I still will pay for studio things, but I was struggling with being able to get to the studio while it's open because of family things, because of work, because of whatever. Like they're only open Wednesday through Saturday and only really open from like 11 a.m. to 6.
Oh, wow.
And so like it was very difficult for me to get in to do things. And there's so many steps in pottery that like you can't just like, it's nearly impossible to make and trim and do all the things for a pot in one day. So like you have to throw the pot and then it has to dry a little bit before you can trim the pot. And then it has to dry even more before you can actually fire the thing. So like I couldn't figure out how to get into the studio at right times in order to do the steps that I needed to do. So I'm hoping now that I have my wheel at home that I will be able to to do more with that. So fingers crossed.
I love pottery. I took some classes on it before, and me and my daughters, we were talking about getting a wheel and doing it at the house too. Because I was like, we need a hobby. We need something to do. And I'm like, I like pottery. And they're like, I like pottery. I'm like, we should take over your dad's third car garage and make it like our pottery area. And they're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I was like, sounds like a great idea to me.
I mean, like, I just hounded Facebook Marketplace for months and waited for the wheel that I wanted to show up. And I actually had to drive. I live in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And I drove up to Richmond, Virginia to go get it. So, like, you know, it was one of those things where it was a really good deal and it was barely used. And, you know, it was just like, you know, perfect circumstances.
Yeah.
So you'll get there. You just got to watch Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Just be careful. There's a lot of scammers out there.
Oh, I know. I hate Facebook. Okay. See, now you worried about you getting off on tangents, and I'm the one over here just being like, oh, pottery?
Pottery. Shiny.
Yeah, this is fun. All right. Okay, so back on track. Love or friendship?
In what context? Like, I want all of it. I want it all.
One. I think maybe I delete this because I think that true love is friendship. So
yeah.
They're both like one and the same.
Yeah. And, you know, but like, you know, platonic love and romantic love are different. So like, I cannot imagine my life without my husband, but I also cannot imagine my life without my best friends. Like, if I lost one of those, I would be non-functional. Like, put me in a padded cell, non-functional, right? So like, I don't know that I could choose one. Like, that's so hard.
Maybe we take that question off the rapid fire. So money or happiness?
So this is another trick one because I am I am the child of pragmatists who would argue that money will allow you happiness because it will remove certain worries from your life. And so like part of me is like, well, if I have money that I don't need to worry about things, then I can focus on other things that I love and whatever. But at the same time, like, you can find happiness in nothing. And so that's a hard one.
I know. And then lots of people say once you have money, it brings more burdens or, you know what I mean? Issues. And
yeah.
That's a tough one. So texting or talking?
Talking. Are you kidding me? I literally get paid to talk. So, I mean, like, if I send voice messages more often than I will type out text. Also because, like, I have big fat fingers and I suck at typing on my phone. And, like, 9 times out of 10, there's at least, like, 6 misspellings and wrong words. And I'm like, my friends must think I am absolutely illiterate because I stink at typing on my phone so much. And so I'd much rather send a little voice note because it's faster and, you know, I don't look like a moron.
I do the same. I'm typically primarily voice, but it's because I'm running so hard or I'm in the car or something. So I'm like, I can't respond to messages. So I mostly primarily do voice notes anymore either. They're just easier.
I like sending voice notes.
Yeah. So chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark.
Okay. Polka dots or stripes?
Stripes. I'm a millennial. Stripes all the way. Oh my God.
City or countryside?
Hard. I like both for different reasons. Like, I like going into the city. I like that hectic hustle bustle. Everything is close. The big buildings, the different people, all of that. That is romantic to me. But also, the country has its own beauty in its slowness and its relaxing type. Things are just slower and more sedate and less like crazy, you know, in the country. And so, like, I don't know that I could pick one. They're both good. Sometimes you need one and sometimes you need the other. And it's never always going to be one or the other. Because if you stop, like if everything is the same forever, then that's super boring.
Yeah, we live in the country about 35 minutes to what would be considered a more big city. And to me, that's the perfect medium. I can drive in about 30 minutes. But then when I come home, I'm in the country. So I don't know. That's the way I try and get the best of both worlds, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I had to pick between out in the middle of nowhere country or living in a city, I will choose a city because I like to be able to like drive to the store very easily and get the things that I need.
Yeah, if we're talking boondocks, I'm definitely in the city.
But, they both have their own charms and you need to experience them at, different points in your life.
Would you rather stay
There's
in?
a non-answer for you.
No, that's a good one. Would you rather stay in or go out?
What are the circumstances of the going out?
Not a networking event. It's a girls' night. How about that?
I would rather go out. I mostly want to stay home and not do anything. Ideally, I could have the girls' night at my house so then I don't have to go anywhere.
There you go.
But I do like hanging out with my friends quite a bit. Like I like my friends.
So are you
with them all the time?
Are you an ice cream or cake person?
Cake.
Would you
My
rather?
husband is an ice cream person, and it has caused no short amount of arguments because, like, for him, like birthdays, you get ice cream, but like for me, birthdays is cake.
Yeah, you guys don't do the double, the cake and the ice cream.
Well, we've had to do that, but like, but also like, if I'm thinking of a dessert, usually I think of cake.
Yeah,
and my husband always thinks of ice cream.
Yeah,
and so like, ugh, who wants ice cream?
I'm not a big ice cream person.
Then again, also, dairy makes my stomach hurt. So
yeah, there's a reason why you don't like ice cream.
Yeah.
Would you rather
lactose?
Would you rather have magic or superpowers?
Magic.
Who
needs superpowers if you have magic?
Magic, exactly. You know?
I mean, magic is superpowers. Like, anyway, sorry.
Time travel or teleportation?
Time travel. Oh my God, time travel.
Where would you go?
So many places. I actually, this is little known fact that I don't talk about a lot, but like, I absolutely devour time travel books. Ooh. Like, I freaking love them. And like, I would just want to go so many different places. And I have always found like, like those historic sites where they have, yes, you do need to restart Outlander.
Oh, I love Outlander. That I up to that show so bad a couple years ago. Like, I haven't watched the new season though. Have you watched they came out with the new season. Did you watch the new?
I stopped watching the show after I think the third season because like for me, I was like, there's so much that's left out from the books.
I was wondering that.
And I'm like, it's just not as good. They do a good job. They do as good of a job as they can with trying to fit how much they are into each season. Mm-hmm. But there's so much that's left behind on the page that I'm just like,
I started reading the first book because I was curious about that after watching the series. I was like, I wonder. Mm-hmm. And within just a couple chapters, it was like, wow, no, there's more here and there's more there. And and it read better, felt better than what they did in the series.
Yes. If you had never watched or if you had never read the books, watching the first season would be a little bit confusing, I think. It was done as well as it could have been done, I think, but it was just not, Diana Gabaldon is not a person who is brief of thought.
Yeah.
She writes very loquaciously. It's beautiful and I love it, but her books are not short.
Not
short.
No.
Anyway.
So, no, go on with your time travel.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I love those historic sites where they dress up in period costume and it's like going back in time to whenever, like I love like Williamsburg. There's the historic Winston-Salem around here where it's like an old Moravian village. like just going and seeing how people used to live has always just been absolutely fascinating to me. Like how different things are, but at the same time still the same. Like they had the same sort of concerns and needs and desires that I do in this modern age.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked different. Anyway, I find that very fascinating. Anyway,
we live near
next.
we live near a place here in Kentucky called Shakertown, and it's where a whole bunch of Shakers came and established basically this like tons of houses. I mean, like there's a church, there's a school, there's huge houses where they used to live, and all their rooms upstairs, and their massive dining rooms below, and even their kitchens, and it's basically like walking into a time capsule.
Yeah.
And they've kept it all historic, and it's fun because they do trick-or-treating and Halloween up there every year. So
fun.
It feels like Salem, and you know what I mean? Like it's fun. So we always take the kids up there. But I love it too. I know what you're saying, where you can walk back into a time capsule and basically see the way people used to live. It's always fascinated me as well.
Yes.
Okay, so pet dragon or pet unicorn?
Oh,
I know that's a tough one.
Team both?
Yeah, right? I was like, that's going to be a tough one. When I found that question, I was like, I don't know, which one would you pick? Like,
it's funny. The first fantasy book that I ever remember reading, like as a young person, was a unicorn book.
Oh.
And it was, I don't know what it's called. I don't know who the author was. I'm so bad with names. It's not even funny. And I have yet to be able to figure out what book that was. But, like, it was so good. But at the same time, it also had dragons in that book, too. So, like, but, like, I remember the unicorns because I was a horse. Like, I was the horse girl. I just loved horses. I still do. They're so pretty.
Yeah. I feel you. I live in the middle of horse country, and there's just something about them. I love them, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but, like, dragons are so cool.
I know. Like,
I mean, I'm writing a book about dragons. So, like,
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Rewind or have a pause button?
For, like, real life?
Yeah.
Huh. I think I would want a rewind button.
That makes sense with your time travel.
I mean, like, more in that, like, I say stupid stuff all the time that I'm like, no, come back, back in my mouth, get back in there. And so I wish I could just, like, hey, and not say the stupid, awkward thing that I said. Yeah. I think I wish I had that. Because I think if I had a pause button, I would just run away. You're like, bye.
You have pause. They're like, where'd she go? I don't know.
She disapparated. Yes. Oh my God.
Would you rather be invisible or would you rather fly?
I have thought about this at length. And I cannot decide. Because I can see the benefits and cool things about both. So, like, ideally, I would, again, have this magic that I could then make myself fly and also be invisible.
I love it. So, are you more into comedy or drama?
I prefer to consume comedy, but I prefer to perform drama.
Got it.
I think I love me a good rom-trom. Like, oh, man. Make me laugh, but also rip my heart out? Yes, please. But, like, I don't know. Like, I think I do. I think I perform drama or, like, very intense emotional things really well. I wish I did comedy better, but I prefer to keep things light because my life is heavy enough as it is. Yeah. I don't need more of that.
I get it. So in a car, are you driver or passenger?
If it's me and my husband, I'm the passenger. If it's anybody else, I'm the driver.
You're the driver.
Yes.
Do you prefer fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Who
likes vegetables?
I mean, I try and get a little bit of both, but I mean, like, I don't know.
It's like pulling teeth to get me to eat vegetables. I hate vegetables.
So cash or cards? Do you carry cash or are you more of a card person?
I'm more of a card, mostly because it's just easier,
Convenient.
but I always have some cash on me just in case, because there's been too many times where like, oh, the machine is down or well, whatever. I don't know. For some reason, like they only take cash, and so like I always
I'm horrible. My husband carries the cash, and I'm always cards. Like I'm like, whenever I need cash, I'm like, honey, do you got some cash? I'm like, it's horrible.
Yeah, my husband is that way with me.
Yeah.
He's like, do you have any cash? Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So I kind of already know this answer because I went ahead and snooped on your website. But Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi is gross. I'm sorry if you love Pepsi, but like Coke Zero is the nectar of the gods. So good.
So tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos, because I think they hurt less.
Okay. Do you have like, either?
I have both. Okay. So I have 2 tattoos. So fun-ish fact, I was Mormon for most of my life up until about 4 or 5 years ago. And like for Mormons, you're not really supposed to have more than just the one set of ear piercings, and really only ever for girls, and then no tattoos ever. And so, like, when I stepped away from the church, one of the first things I did was to go get a second set of earring holes, whatever.
Piercings,
I speak for a living. But, like, it hurt so bad. Like, so much worse than I remember it feel like.
Really?
Like, as a kid getting my ears. Like, oh my God, this hurts so much. And I've gotten 2 tattoos now, and I'm like, that was not that hard. But then again, I've also only had them done in places which are not necessarily like really ouchy spots. I guess.
Yeah.
So like I feel like piercing is it's like the initial hurt is greater than a tattoo, but then it hurts more longer than the tattoo does.
I get that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so like cumulative amount of pain, tattoos is less.
Yeah. I agree. Good.
I have plans for more tattoos.
It's funny. I didn't get my first tattoo till later in life too. And now I have 4 and my husband doesn't have any. And he's just like, so what, are you just going to be like covered in tattoos now? I was like, if I want to be. Like, yeah, I will be. Yeah. If that's the worst thing that happens in a midlife crisis for me, count yourself blessed, buddy. Like,
yeah, that's right. Like I could go out and like spend all of our money. You're welcome. Oh wait, I am with tattoos. They're so expensive.
They are. Oh my Lord.
Oh, that was very surprising to learn how much tattoos cost. I was like, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then you see these people with all this ones who have sleeves, and you're just like, God.
Yeah.
Like I look at
it like, that's literally thousands of dollars on your skin right there, my guy or my lady. Like,
yes.
Oof.
Crazy.
Oof.
So pirates or ninjas?
Pirates.
Okay.
Ninjas are really cool. I like ninjas a lot. But pirates.
So truth or dare? Would you pick the truth or the dare?
I probably would do the dare.
The dare.
Mostly because, like, I feel like I'm really honest in my day-to-day life. So, like, there's not a whole lot that you could ask me to, like, you could literally ask me almost anything and I would give you the truth just whenever. But the handful of things that I keep private, you will pry them from my cold dead lips. Like, those are locked down. Those thoughts will never see the light of day. So I would much rather do a dare.
Yeah, I get it.
Than let those handful of things out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I think my mother would kill me in retrospect. You know, some things. Anyway.
So spicy or mild? And I'm not talking books. I'm talking food.
I like spicy food.
Spicy.
I like it a lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that was the end of my rapid fire.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Nice. I mean, I really like Korean food, so like that is often very, very spicy. I didn't used to be a spicy person, but once I started eating a lot more Korean food, you know, it came with the spice tolerance.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had Korean food, to be honest. What is it mostly like? Like, what would you liken it to?
I mean, it's a lot of rice-based dishes. but like they do a lot of soups and stews.
Okay.
And then a lot of like mixed rice dishes. So like it's called bibimbap, and it's like meat and vegetables and like a sauce over rice, and you mix it up. And it's like stir fry or like fried rice, but like it's still a little different. But they put like they are very much known for this. It's called gochujang, which is a fermented chili paste.
Okay.
And so it's spicy, but it's also kind of got that like sort of like miso funk, it's fermented. And so they put that on a lot of things. And then, of course, kimchi is really, really spicy usually. But then they also do a lot of soups and stews because historically, Korea has been a poorer nation in the history. They were under rule of other people for a lot of their own history. And so they didn't always have a lot of wealth. The disparity between the people at the top and the people at the bottom was great. And so the general populace learned to make do with what they could. And so like soups and stews are a great way to stretch food to feed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a lot of those and, simple dishes. And it's just so good. You should try bulgogi or bibimbap. Bulgogi is like a sweet and savory meat dish. So like you can have chicken or pork or beef. It doesn't really matter. But it's like this sweet and savory sauce that they marinate the meat in, and then they'll cook it. And it's so good. It's so good.
Well,
if you ever come visit me in Raleigh, I'll take you to Korean barbecue.
That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, if I need to. I don't know if I can find it in Kentucky, but if I can, I will. And if I ever come visit you, I'm gonna keep you up on that one. I'm gonna be like, okay, Korean food, let's go, let's try it.
Absolutely. We actually have like a really big. It's not like it's big-ish. Like there's a solid amount of Korean immigrants that live in and around Raleigh, enough so that they have like. We have an H Mart, which is a Korean grocery store. And also, like, there are places in Cary and Morrisville where, like, the signage is in Korean. So, like,
wow.
There's a couple of, like, really good restaurants around here that are just, they're so good. I will take you. You come visit me.
All right. Well, that's all I have for tonight, June. So, do you have anything that you want to talk about or add, or?
I guess the only thing that I will add is that I have a book coming out next week that's the first in a time travel YA romance series that I am probably the most excited about this book just because of how cool and interesting the story was. Like I said, I really love time travel books. And so like it's told in like this dual timeline where there's this girl, she's like late teens, early, I think she's like 19 at the very beginning of the book, and then she finds out she's a time traveler because she gets shot. Like this is all happens in the first chapter of the book, so not like spoiling a whole lot. She gets shot and then wakes up like 2 or 3 years later, and she's like, what just happened? And so like she finds out she's married and like all this other stuff, and so she's trying to figure out like what happened, how did this happen? And then the second timeline is one of her ancestors finding out about her and the things that she was going through because she finds her diary. And so she learns that because she is in this world, like time traveling can be like an inherited thing. Like she has the ability to time travel. And it is like the coolest, time travel book ever. And I am ridiculously proud of it. I think like, not to toot my own horn, but like it was one of those projects that stretched me the most. And I'm very proud of the job that I did. And so like, you should go and read it.
What is it
I
called?
mean, yes, it's called, oh my God, Time Watchers by Kate Serzenta. It's book 1 of the Mind Through Time series, and it is so good. And it comes out next Tuesday, and I am so ridiculously excited about it.
Oh, I'm going to listen to it. Is it in duet or dual? What kind of narration is it in?
It's solo. It's just me.
Oh, it's you.
And
Oh,
so
I love it.
yeah, so like you get to hear my lovely man voice, which you did not get to enjoy in your book.
No, I didn't. I
So
did not hear your manly voice. So
yes, I have been told that my guy voice is good.
it's a good
It's a good solid one. But like it's, like it was challenging, this book specifically, because of the different timelines. So like narrating something so the first one happens in Civil War era America. And so like narrating something that's happening at that point is going to sound different than something narrating in the modern age of 2009, which is the second timeline. So like it's, it was one of those things where it stretched me a lot, but I was very proud of it. And so I'm like, everybody go listen to it.
I'm definitely, it's on my list. I actually have 1 credit, so I'll save my Audible credit for your book, and I will get it. You said Tuesday?
Yeah. So like usually audiobooks, much like the publishing world, things release on Tuesday, usually. So yes.
Are the rest of the books in the series written, or is she still writing them?
She is still writing the last one. Okay. So book 2 is out, and I will say like book 1 ends on not really a cliffhanger. It does not answer all the questions that were brought up in book 1, but it does have a satisfying ending. So it's not going to be like you're waiting on like pins and needles for the next book. Yeah. But I will say I am waiting on pins and needles now, having narrated the second book already. Yeah. I'm like, oh, book 3 needs to come out right now.
Like, write faster. Come on, write faster.
Yeah. Come on, you can do it, please. I need it.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah, no, I'll definitely get that book on Tuesday. Love it.
I hope you love it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear your man voice. That will be exciting.
Yes. Yes. I'm excited just all around. Oh, it's so good.
I love it.
Anyway. All right.
Well,
thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in and talking with me. We've been here for almost 2 hours.
I know. Like I said, I can talk. There's a reason I talk for a living.
I can talk too. So you get both of us together, and there you go. Time just flew, and it was 2 hours. So
we were doomed from the start.
Well, thank you. And thank you, everyone who showed up tonight. And you all have a great evening and a great weekend, because this is Friday. So anyways, yes. Thank you, June.
And curl up with a good book.
Yes, curl up with a good book. And wait for June's release on Tuesday. And then that'll be all in our earbuds and happily listening, happy reading. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll see you again next time.
Yes, we will. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Night.